What up, baby? This is MV, and this is the 6-month review on the JDL V2 kit. What up, baby? So this is my 2013 Scion FRS, and this is the 6-month review on the JDL Turbo kit. So soon after I bought this car, I realized how underpowered. Once you start doing modifications to it, bigger tires, lowering it to the ground, going around two corners, driving it enthusiastically, you realize that it is underpowered. Even if it does look cool, you're just gonna have a whole bunch of people pulling up to you on the highway, revving and taking off on you. It gets demeaning after a while. So you start looking into power mods. So I think the power mods came so late in the game for me, but I knew the direction I wanted. Just needed the money. Over going to school, getting higher in my career, over the last 10 years of having this car, it's been a lengthy process, but I went with the JDL kit because it was research. There was a lot of things that had already been proven beforehand, but I had to go turbo. I grew up looking at sensations like Adam LZ, Ambush Drift, TJ Hunt, and I saw all the things that they did, and reading forums, going to meets, looking around, even drift events, loving to see all the different cars, and I realized turbo kit was for me. Supercharger, great, cool. You get constant power consistently all the time, but it wasn't much growth, at least for me. Outside the pulleys and stuff, wasn't much growth and not the direction I wanted. Plus, more fuel efficient as long as you're not in boost. This is the way to go. Turbo kit's the way to go. If you can learn how to control yourself and not put your car into boost all the time, you can save a lot of fuel and still maintain a decent miles per gallon. So the JDL kit I went with, and I knew that they had pretty good customer service. So I hit them up and I let them know my goals. So one of the main goals for me was to have a recirculated kit. I love the sound of a turbo that simply, I guess, has the turbine wheel forced to stop, creating that flutter noise. I love that. And I realized that came when you remove the blow-off valve. So I hit up JDL and I let him know that I didn't want to run a blow-off valve, and he highly suggested for tune, for this, for that, and for great reasons. He sent me a elbow that did not have a blow-off valve outlet, and then he also sent me an elbow with the blow-off valve. So I had the option to put on or take off and run it with the blow-off valve over time, and then switch back based off tunes and stuff like that. And thank you. But mostly I run it without it. I've never actually ran it with it. And I hit up my tuner and I let him also know what my goals were. And he also expressed that he loved that old school sound of the turbo. So we went with that. I also had outsourced a Pulsar 2867, which I had told previously to JDL as well that I was looking to do a turbo from somewhere else. And let me tell you, the lineup, like it going together with a JDL kit built for a Garrett 2867, these things are identical, or close to identical as possible, because they lined wired up. I had no issues. This is a full V-band kit, and if you're going to do turbo kits, do V-band. Don't do 258 or anything else. Like, this went together so smoothly. I put this on in 2 days, and the third day I got it tuned. it was so smooth. Contact with JDL was awesome. Even to the day before my kit was powder coated, I was able to hit them up and let them know that I wanted tungsten instead of dark gray, and they obliged. There was no issues. Like, they were great in this process. Supporting mods, I would urge you to do this before anything. When I put the turbo together, I made sure that my supporting mods were already there. So for cooling, I went with the stock radiator. I did some research and I found, or at least what I saw, was that the stock radiator was more efficient than the slim fan and Mishimoto cool radiator setup. I heard stay away from that. Not to bash Mishimoto, they do great things, but at least for the turbo setup, maybe for the stock car, it's good. But for the turbo setup, it's not the way to go. So I kept stock fans, stock radiator. Outside of that, the cooling is a Vibrant dual pass radiator, I guess, dual pass. And then you also have the adapter from Vibrant, and seamless and also cheaper than the Mishimoto. This is the thermostatic oil cooler. It opens up right around, I want to say 190, and I have not had any heating issues with this setup at all. I also run a AOS from Verus. A lot of my parts come from Verus because they have tracked and figured out these cars. So the air oil separator is from Verus, and I also have that running back into the engine block from the plate in the back. So there's no checking my oil to see if it like runs over or it's going to overfill a catch can or anything. This thing, if any oil is pushed past the rods, it goes right into the AOS, separated, and right back into my engine block. Awesome. And we live in Florida, so I did not need the heater for that AOS. I already dropped in when I rebuilt my motor, maybe like a year ago now. I rebuilt my motor. I was able to drop in the competition clutch stage 3. So that was also already in the car, and I have had no issues with that as well. I just swapped out a new clutch, but I just love the way it hits. It like it takes a beating. I drive this car pretty aggressively, and it takes a beating. With that being said, this is my street, my daily driver. At the end of this, my whole goal was just to make a little bit more power. I understand this is a FA20, so it's not going to make 500 and last. This makes 311 on 93 pump gas, and the next and end goal will be to see that 400 number. I've been keeping it on the road, keeping it consistent, trying to make sure that everything pans through, but the end goal and just a little bit away is literally just fuel pump injectors 400. That's the goal. But right now I'm just making sure that this holds through. I got my oil tested by Blackstone Labs, and I consistently watch that and just make sure that everything's going through with the car. But this thing is a blast to drive. I love this vehicle. Just got some new wheels and tires. I went with Falcon 615K Plus, and then the Z40s from Ray's, my first real wheels. And like I said, this build has been a doozy from the beginning. And if you need to budget certain things and make sure that you don't spend too much money in the beginning to get to your goal, and then you splurge out and ball out at the end, I am 100% with you. But yeah, this is the 6-month review on my turbo kit. I'll end this with a couple of flybys, and maybe I'll take you guys on the road for a little drive. But outside of that, I'm NV, and stay tuned.